I got all my cussing out with you, so I shouldn't be cussing on the podcast.
No, yes you did. Oh no 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 no
Got all
no
my
no
cussing out
no
with
no. You're not gonna dismiss what I'm talking about.
They didn't want me cussing on the podcast. All right, babe. I love you. Bye. All right.
Okay, fam, welcome to another episode of Keeping Up with the Consorts. I am Reverend Napoleon Lawson, and I'm here with Sunny Days, and I'm irritated with her already. I have a rule where I try to keep, I like everything to be authentic, and I don't want anybody to waste any real-life content before we get into the studio. It was only an hour ago that Sunny called me going off, ranting and raving, cursing and screaming, and I wanted her to bring all of her terrible negative energy into the studio, and now she's wasted it talking to her friend, and she isn't. We're not going to get upset, Sunny. So I apologize to you guys in advance. The name of this episode was going to be Upset Sunny, but now she's ruined it for us. You know what? Hold on, guys. Sunny, give me a second. I got to get some water. You hold that thought. My throat is itchy.
Oh my goodness. Well, what I would like to say is I'm still upset, Sonny, and deal with him, baby. He would keep you upset. So yeah, we still on the roll. Period.
Yeah. So I want to, in case you get thirsty. I don't want upset Sunny. I don't want thirst to interfere with the world's opportunity to meet upset Sunny for the first time. So, go ahead, Sunny. Tell everybody what you're obviously upset about a lot, and apparently she's leaving the show. So, upset Sunny, tell everybody what you're upset about, because it apparently it's a bunch.
Well, the first thing was, we was already kind of like running behind a little bit. But we were supposed to have like a guest or whatever. And the thing is, it's important that we have these guests on the show, especially this particular guest, because she's supposed to be keeping up with the consort, or she's supposed to be another consort. So it's important to have a consort on the show more than anything. But then me and this consort has issues, and that it needs to be hashed out. And then it's like he's always talking to me about me and my ministry of laying hands, and that's a very important ministry, because what's going to happen is you keep letting it build up, build up, build out, build up, build up, and then all I have left is these hands, these gospel hands that the Lord has given me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just created in His image. So yeah, that's very important, because I can't get it out. You know what I'm saying? And when you leave things like doormat, I guess, or
dormant, lingering. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lingering.
Yeah. It
can really build up in me. So even like my prayer is working and everything, but then like the Bible say, with all you do, get an understanding, and confess your faults to one another, so we could be healed. If I can't confess what is bothering me, I'm not gonna be healed, and it's you gonna have like the wrong Sunny, and I don't want you to have Storm and not Sunny, because they look alike, they both pretty, and they both know how to put that stuff on. So you won't know who you have until Storm comes and she lay hands. So that's what I don't want. I don't want anybody to be laid out in the kingdom family home, because at the end of the day, like Jesus told Peter, I've already prayed for you. I've already prayed about my actions. So if it happens, he's with me 1,000%. That's how I feel about it. So yeah.
Okay, so guys, let me add some context to what she's talking about. She is talking about a potential new kingdom family member by the name of Lexus G. Now, Lexus G likes to turn up. And as a result of her turning up, sometimes she will end up sleeping late into the day. So that's not behavior that I condone or approve of. But she's adult, she's not in my domain, and she can do what she wants. Lexus G and Sunny have a history, okay? And in their previous history, they had, you know what, actually, I'm going to let you, because they don't know anything about Lexus G. So what I want to do first And you know what? Everything happens for a reason. It's good that Lexus G is not here for this first conversation about her, because I think it would be more productive for you and I to have some conversations about Lexus G before we introduce her to the audience, especially in light of the confrontation you guys had the other day at the house. So what I want you to start is, I want you to start with your initial confrontation with Lexus G. I think it was, what, a year or two ago? How long have you been in my life now?
Since 2024, July 2024.
July 2024, okay. So at some point early in our relationship, she and Lexus G had a run-in. Now, remind me, what was that run-in about? What did you guys initially fall out about?
I really can't even tell you. I know that you told me that she had court, and I had a doctor's appointment.
Yes, you were taking her to, you were giving her a ride to court. Okay.
Yeah, and I've always seen Lexi G, I'm just say Lex, you know what I'm saying, in the house, chilling, whatever. Spoke to her high and by, whatever. She wasn't as friendly, but she, when she saw me, she spoke, you know what I'm saying? But it was just this particular day, you said, hey, I need you to do me a favor. Lexi got court, and I know that you got to be in Joliet as well. How far is this, that, and the third? So you was like, okay, that's perfect. Take her. So as I'm, chilling in the car, and she just right there, I don't know. She asked me a question like, so are you going to take me home?
Yes, I remember. Yes, she had her usual nasty stank attitude. Like, yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. Because it was stanky when she got in the car. Continue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And she asked me, like, was I going to take her home? And I'm like, well, yeah, wherever you need to go. I just know you have court, and I have a doctor's appointment right up the street. I think it was more so her phone being off, and she couldn't contact me. So it was just like, I guess she was worried about me leaving her out there. I don't know what it was.
Right, but it's her demeanor. And I remember now that you're going over with me, part of her issue that day is she had issue with who was going to take her to court. She thought I should take her. And I don't have time for that. And I had her ride with you, and she took issue with riding with a stranger. And I explained to her, you're stranded. You don't have a way to court. However we get you to court, whether it be a person who's attached to me who's a stranger or an Uber, you're getting to court for free. And you have no other way there. I don't even know why we're having this conversation. So that particular day, she got into the car with an attitude. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in Sonny's defense, Lexus G has a very difficult personality to deal with. I love her. I have learned to manage her difficult personality, but she can be a very difficult person to deal with for a variety of reasons, okay? And again, in Sonny's defense, she doesn't have a great deal of patience for people with these type of personalities. She doesn't have any patience for people who are confrontational or negative or nasty for no logical reason, especially when you're helping them, okay? And Lexus G is notorious for that, okay? So that particular time, they had words, they fell out, and their relationship was not good since, but they didn't have to deal with each other. Now, fast forward to earlier this year when you guys ran into each other and you made up. Tell me about that conversation.
Well, I'm not going to fast forward.
Oh, you can't fast forward?
Can't fast forward. So point is, we was in the car, and her attitude was just so stank.
Oh, you're going back to the original confrontation. Okay.
This is why it's important to have her here, because, there's my truth, her truth, and then the whole truth.
She's gonna get a chance to tell her truth.
But to make a long story short, her attitude was just flaming hot Cheetos that day. And we had a few words, and I just told her, like, baby, you don't know me for real. And I'm trying to be nice. I was assigned to do this for you. Mm-hmm. Trust and believe. I don't want to be next to you either. That's how you feeling. That's how you coming. Mm-hmm. And we had our little words, and I told Napoleon, I'm finna put her out the car.
Right.
And she's going to be walking back to Bolingbrook. Right. If that's where her home is. Mm-hmm. Later on, fast forward this year, I saw her at the Kingmaker's house picking up her beautiful daughter, Princess. Mm-hmm. And she saw me and I'm like, hey, Lexi, you know, and she was just glowing and stuff. And I felt like it was a good opportunity to speak. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to speak regardless. But that day she just had a glow on her. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that she was just in a better place, I assumed. And, you know, we talked and I said, girl, give me a hug because I ain't did nothing to you, which I haven't. You know what I'm saying? I've always respected her as a person, respected her as a mom, and just respected her as a human being because we didn't have no dealings. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was just weird to even have an issue or a problem with somebody that does nothing for you and you does nothing for them. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so we ended up hugging it out. At first, she looked at me up and down. She was like, nah, I'm good. And then I guess the Holy Spirit said, girl, get that girl a hug. You know what I'm saying? And we hugged it out. Fast forwarding to after that hug, we did see each other. We went to tailgaters and we was chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like Lexi was still being Lexi, a little annoying, you know, and then, you know, when people be drinking, they talk a lot, they say a lot, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, most definitely we was cool. I felt like we made amends. This upcoming, what was that, like a week ago, you know, she needed help. Okay, no problem. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I don't know if she feels like I'm doing it because you telling me to or I have to because I live with you or whatever.
But that's not the case.
Right, that's not the case. Most of the stuff that I was doing out of the kindness of my heart because at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer, treat people how you want to be treated because Absolutely. It can be me. My car can break down. I'm probably going to need her or somebody else.
Now, guys, I'll stop right there because this is a key point. So, fast forward to now. Lexus G has been staying with me in I have different properties. So she has been staying not physically with me, but she has stayed with me in various properties that my family and I own. And while staying at those properties, we really didn't have very much personal contact. We would communicate when there was something going on that she might need help with as far as her residence, or if there was a dispute with somebody that she was staying with. But for the most part, we didn't have any close dealings. Very recently, the properties that she was staying with, she left, she got her own place, but then something happened where she needed to come back to our family for help. And the first person to extend a hand to her, even before me, in terms of helping her, was Sonny. Now, the reason this is important, and this alludes to what you just said about why you help people, I could not have a Kingdom family unit without Sonny. I couldn't, at this point, even do it with any of my wives because to do what I'm attempting to do, which is to mimic the family that Abraham built, to do that, you need a partner who loves God and who loves people and who has a heart to open her doors and help people. And that, for me, is definitely Sonny. Now, very recently, when Lexus needed help recently, Sonny was the person, when her car broke down, that took her to Gurney Mills, which is almost Wisconsin, based on where we live. Took her miles and miles away to Gurney Mills to help her take the steps to get her car rolling again. When her car was stranded in the street, it was Sonny who tracked down the equipment needed to get the car jumped and brought home. It has been Sonny over and over and over again who has extended her hand to help Lexus while she has been in our life currently. And in response to all of that help, in her usual fashion, Lexus did her alienate thing that she does. Now, the funny thing is, before Lexus started doing any of that, I had a conversation with both of them, and I explained to Lexus, hey, if you're going to be a part of this family unit and you're going to be around for this to work, you have to get along with Sonny. And what that means is you can't do what you normally do, where you alienate the people who are helping you. You walk around the house with your headphones on, and then you act like they don't exist. Much of Sonny's frustration this last go-around came from that behavior. So you can imagine, after she's done all this stuff to help this person, for the individual to walk around as though something has been done to them, or as though she's not residing in Sonny's house because for the organization we're building, we're co-rulers of the house. I'm the male leader of our Kingdom Family Home. Sonny is the female head of the home. So you can't move into her house and treat her like she's an alien. Am I right about that's your perception,
Yeah.
Sonny? Okay. So continue.
So yeah, the whole, I can be nice and I can be kind until there's no need for that anymore. And it's really awful. I'm a reciprocator, but then again, even if you don't do nothing for me, I'm still gonna do what I do because that's just how God has built me to be. And I've learned that, certain things is not gonna always be transactional. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes God is testing you or whatever. And my biggest thing is and maybe it's a childhood trauma for me, and I know that it's something that I'm still working on. And it makes me question, am I praying hard enough? You know what I'm saying, Lord? Like, is it me? Whoa, is it me? But at the end of the day, like, I ain't got time for people to be alienating me from anything. And
especially in your house.
Right. I don't
You can't be alienated in your own house.
Yeah.
You're the host.
And I just, I was just very baffled, you know what I'm saying, just to be helping with, then just to be talking 24 hours before.
Prior.
And then you got on, and it's not even the headphones. You want to listen to music, do your big one. It's the weirdness.
The attitude. No, listen. I'm so glad she's not here because I want to have this conversation uninterrupted. You are 100% right about how you feel and felt about how her presence in our house disrupted the house and the negative effect it had on you.
Yeah.
What I do want you to acknowledge, though, is your response to the negativity, especially since you're in a position of power, was unwarranted. Now, this is where things went left and where Sonny, I think, went wrong. Lexus is staying with us, okay? I've already decided that her attitude is disrupting the household, and she's gonna have to leave at the very least temporarily until she has a mindset change, because she's not operating as a team member and a loving member of our family. So I've already made this decision. I go upstairs to the bedroom. I come back down. I'm upstairs. I hear yelling and screaming. Sonny screaming at the top of her lungs. I come downstairs, and there's basically about to be a brawl. Now, Sonny goes to the garage. Our garage door has a lock on it. Sonny goes to the garage to get something. Apparently, Lexus went to the garage first before Sonny. And when Lexus comes back into the house, the door closes and Sonny is locked out. Sonny is furious because she believes in her crazy mind that Lexus was required to hold the door or at least make sure the door was open because she knew Sonny was behind her. Okay, is that your position, Sonny?
A little bit.
Okay, well, now explain, because I don't want to put words in your mouth when you say a little bit.
The thing is, Lexi would have held that door open if she was not, or not even hold it open. And the first situation was the door do lock. But lately, since I've been using that garage door and the kids been running in and out, I haven't had to lock it because the door hasn't been closing all the way. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, like, this whole, excuse me, that was the first thing that came to my mind. This is just me talking to Sonny. Did this hoe just lock me in the garage? Mm-hmm. She know that the door is locked. Just me off of GP, just somebody's in there. Let me make sure they able to get back in. To remind you, the killer part is you have on headphones. Mm-hmm. So even if you did close the door, forgot all about it, you can't hear me knocking on the freaking door. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you deliberately doing what you doing. And that almost got her really seriously in my mind.
You want to put hands on it?
Anointed hands.
Okay, so now this is where you're wrong, Sonny, and I love you. Okay, you're wrong on these points. First of all, you're right about the attitude. What really irritated you is her disposition. Because if her disposition throughout was not what it was, you would not have taken the door closing the same way, okay? However, this is what I want you to be mindful of. You are a leader in our household. And let me explain to you what that means. In the Bible, when they use the word house, the house of David, Abraham's house, the house of Jacob, what they mean is they don't mean just their immediate family. They mean the entire organization, okay? So right now, our house, our organization is small, but at some point, we could have 300-400, we could have 1,000 members, okay, as part of our house. You would still be the female leader of our unit, okay? So as the female leader of our unit, what I want you to be mindful of and what I want you to work on, when you are interacting with new members or potential members of the family, you have to be mindful that in moments of frustration, you cannot resort to old Sonny. You can't say to someone, get this bee out of the house. You can't say that. You can't say, if you don't get her out of here, I'm going to whoop her A. You can't say any of those things. And let me tell you why you can't say that. We are supposed to be a kingdom family who operates in love.
Amen.
And when you have those moments, now, granted, her disposition is terrible and she makes you want, or her disposition can be terrible because she can be sweet when she wants to, but she can also be terrible, okay? And I'm glad you have an opportunity to deal with her first because most people will be easier than her. But what you have to be mindful of is this individual isn't where she needs to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And my job is to set an example of how to deal with conflict within a kingdom family unit using kingdom and biblical principles. Now, the way you were supposed to handle that, if you felt slighted, you were supposed to say, hey, Napoleon, I don't know what's going on with you and Sonny, and I don't know what her position is going to be in the household, but however long she's going to be here, the three of us need to sit down and have a conversation. We need to have a conversation immediately because I feel slighted in my own home. I've talked to you about this before with how uncomfortable I've been when baby bride is around. But this is worse because this person is in my house. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the way I want you to go about handling this kind of situation in the future is you, myself, and the individual in question, whoever that is, we would sit down and have a conversation and we would work it out. Now, this is what you have to understand. Because you're in a position of power, you don't have a reason to blow up and get frustrated. Because I've told you before, as it relates to our kingdom family, if they don't get along with you, I'm not going to bring them into the unit. Now, if there's something that you're doing that's out of alignment, they can come to me and they can say, hey, Sonny's bullying me. She's pulling my hair. She's saying mean things about me, okay? And then you and I would have a conversation, and I would call you to the carpet. But the reason you're in the position you're in, the reason I love you so much and you're so valuable to me, I know that even when you're upset, eventually you're going to return to those principles. And then I can, if you're wrong, I can say, hey, Sonny, from a kingdom and biblical standpoint, did you do this? And if you did do that, you're going to humble yourself and come back and apologize or make it right. That's why you're a leader. So not only do you not want to approach situations that way, because you're in a position of power, you don't have to. You already know, well, if a decision has to be made about who's going to stay and who's going to go, it's going to be the other person. And what you want to do, because you have so much power, you need to learn how to use that power responsibly. Do you know why? This is why I made it a point to separate my secular family from my kingdom family, and why a wife and a consort, I would never have them in the same household together. At least with the chief consort. Because I wanted you in a space, when we started our new Kingdom Family Unit, I wanted you in a space where you would have the freedom and the flexibility to be the head female in the unit we started. Do you understand? And so that you could learn how to wield that responsibility and then demonstrate to other people who will also be in your position one day in their own households what that looks like. Okay? So you were right about how her disposition affected the household, but you could have handled it better. Because with the power you have, there's no reason for you to blow up and get frustrated. All you have to do is have a meeting. That's why when she came, I said, hey, you need to ingratiate yourself with Sonny. And as soon as I saw that she wasn't understanding that and wasn't doing that, I had already begun to make the appropriate arrangements. I knew this isn't going to work out. Now, it's one thing if somebody walk around the house with their nose turned up at me, I get off on that. But you're not going to make Sonny and my Kingdom family children uncomfortable. You're not going to do that. Because you don't make me uncomfortable. And everybody we've brought into our circle, you've welcomed. I've watched you welcome them with open arms. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And again, if there is something you're doing wrong, what I always tell people is, well, listen, bring her in here, and the three of us will have a meeting. And you know what I've always usually gotten? Oh, I don't need to meet. Well, then I already know who the culprit is. Because you're always ready to meet. You know what I mean? You're always ready to meet to discuss the issue, which leads me to believe if you're willing to get on camera, put a microphone in front of your face, and have your opinion or your issues or your responses laid out and examined in public, chances are your heart is in the right place. You know what I mean? So is what I'm saying making sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, this is what we're going to do. Lexus G is not off of the hook, okay? You said this morning that I should have woke her up and demanded that she be here, okay?
Because that's what chiefs do.
Yeah, but that's what chiefs do. But she's no longer in our domain. Our Kingdom Family Unit is the only place where you and I rule and we can apply the principles that we apply. Once people get outside of our domain, they can have their own secular views and they can behave the way they want to behave. However, to her credit, this is what she did. She did reach out to you to apologize, right?
That was not a real apology.
Tell me, how did the apology go?
Because she reached out, hey, Sonny, I'm sorry. And then the next day, I go and do my regular go pick up kids from Baby T. You see me. You walk past the door to the point Baby T had to come back around and open up the door. Mm-hmm. And she said she wanted to have this in-person conversation. I hit her back up. Hey, I'm sorry. Yesterday, I was coming in, who out the bam. You know what I'm saying? So if you meant that, it would have been a different demeanor, or I would have been calling you the next day like, hey, I know you was busy yesterday, but this conversation is really on my heart. Right. Same way how I am with podcast. You may be like, okay, I'm busy. Right. I'm gonna mention it again if that's on my heart. Right. And then my demeanor is gonna be, my posture is gonna be, you're gonna have a sorry posture. So, and I'm learning that the people, and I was reading in my word too. That's what made me say this the other day to you. The people, how can I put it? The secular people are my family. Because the secular woman that was with the issue for 12 years, she knew she had an issue and she was not in denial. Right. The man that was on the rug for 30-some years that sat by the water knew he had an issue. Those are the people I can work with because they are willing. Lexi's not.
Right, but this is what you
know. So that's the thing. So even those are the people. Right off back, God gives us people to help. These people, if somebody say, "Hey, I need help with something," but if they're not willing to lay down other things in order to get those things,
I agree.
And I think that's what the chief is here for, because at the end of the day, she needs order. And I still love Lexi. I don't have an issue with Lexi. When I'm in the BITCH that I was talking about the demonic BITCH that she was operating in. Yeah, Lexi is a beautiful person. Right. But that spirit that was operating, that was behind, was a BITCH.
Yeah, I
and it with a little horror in her. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that was just the spirit, not her as the person. So I just want to get that together. But yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like those are the people that ruffles my feathers because you have something good. You got somebody that's willing to get up anytime. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, God was like, she's used to that. Mm-hmm. She's used to that.
Well, this is what I want you to. I want you to put this in your cap. This is a learning experience for us. Nobody's done what we're doing. Okay, nobody goes out, acquires other families, and brings them into their fold. When Abraham left his native country, the Bible says that he took people with him. So the way Abraham's household grew and got so large, everywhere he would go, he would tell people about his belief system. He would share his God, his values, and then some of the people that would come into his employ, he would adopt them into his household. So he did what we're trying to do, is he acquired families. They didn't have a church. He acquired families, and those families became a part of his extended family, and they all grew together. Where we are falling short, because we've just gotten started, there has to be a process put in place before you bring people into a family.
Amen.
Now, this is what went wrong. Because she was in dire need at that time, I bypassed what that process should look like, because I had to do something quickly to deal with her housing issue. But even in doing that, I knew we were going to end up here in the first phase of acquiring and bringing her into our family and our household. I expected us to end up here. Now that we're here and we've had the conflict that I most certainly knew would come, we will begin the appropriate process of building a principled relationship with her, where we have an opportunity to have regular kingdom family conversation. Now, this is why I'm hopeful. Even though you guys had your issues, immediately after that, she reached out to me and said, hey, I still want to be on the podcast. You know what I mean? Which means that she's still open to having kingdom family conversation. And through those conversations, you guys will have an opportunity to get to know one another on a spiritual level. And then you can see if an authentic relationship really develops. Because as you begin to talk to someone, you have an opportunity to see if the things that they're talking about, the things that they're saying, they're actually going to live out. And if we never see any progress in that area, then we know this is not someone that could ever be a part of our unit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that's not a step in the process going forward that we should ever ignore or skip over. And you and I went through that process. We didn't just wake up one day and decide, hey, we could build a household together. We could build a kingdom family together. You and I had 2 years of disputes and disagreements and not seeing things eye to eye. And it wasn't until I saw how well we were able to resolve disputes, and I saw your consistent love and hunger for God and His Word, that's how I knew, wow, this is going to work with her. She loves God. She loves me, and I was slamming the door in your face. I was like, get away. I have stuff to do. I'm not watching kids.
Tell them how you took me off the little Costco membership and everything.
Yeah, I took you off the Costco membership. I was doing everything I could to get rid of you.
Don't make him mad. Yeah. You ain't gonna eat.
Well, you know what? Because I didn't think I
was gonna use my Costco membership.
No. I thought the investment in you, in our relationship, I always wanted us to get here, and I never saw how we would get here. But as I began to see, I always knew you loved God, but as I began to see how much you cared for me as a person, even, this would really impress me about you. There are a lot of people who are loving because, I want to say loving, there are a lot of people that respond a certain way because of what they know I will do or what I have done. But we were at a point where there was really nothing I could do for you anymore. You know what I mean? The car was gone. You had your own car. There was a point you didn't have care for the kids. Or, I mean, there were several little things that I saw that was like, why is she still around? But your loving disposition and how you dealt with me when I was trying to get rid of you, that's what really won me off. I was like, man, this chick really has a loving spirit because she just is still nice to me, and I just keep closing the door in her face. And she keeps, okay, love you, Polly. So that positivity in you really won me over. And like I say, you can be a something, but on the other side, you can be so loving and warm and wrapping your arms around people that it shuts that off. So that's why I would never bring somebody into our family who's going to disrupt that, because just like the other day when I was upset in the morning because I couldn't find you, and you immediately called me, hey, I don't like the way you were talking to me. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk, because the other morning, I mean, she works for me too, so I was looking for her. I gave her assignments. I need you to go do so-and-so, so-and-so, such and such. I called her at the time she was supposed to be there. She was nowhere to be found. I'm furious. So I'm like, oh my God, I told her this is exactly what I need you to do, and you're not there. So I called her, and I was hot, okay? Because I thought she was somewhere goofing off. And she called me right back. She was like, hey, I don't like the way you were talking to me. We don't talk to each other that way. And you came to me so respectfully, and I knew I was hot, but I couldn't do anything but say, you know what? You're right. We don't do that. And I apologize. So, you know, I'm so impressed with you because I see you grow and I'm seeing you develop, and I'm really proud of where you're going. So this is what we're going to do, okay? At some point today, Lexus G is going to wake up. And when she does, I'm going to get her in here, and we're going to have a conversation because I want to hear her side. And then we're going to have another conversation today or tomorrow for sure with the three of us, okay? Because I do believe and I do know that if the three of us get on the same page, I think she would be a great addition to our family and our household, and she would really add a lot to the pod. I still believe that, but we have some work to do in getting there. You know what I mean? Now, aside from that, the other thing I want to talk to Sonny about.
And before you say that, there's not another person in mind that I think that would do better than Lexi. So
we can have plenty of people.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, as a chief consort coming in, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't, you know, when we have three people in here.
Mm-hmm. Who's the other person?
Sabretooth when she come back. But I'm just saying, as another young adult like myself, I wouldn't want nobody else but Lexi. You know what I'm saying? Because we've already created a bond. So at the end of the day,
she's perfect.
Yeah, she's perfect. So it's like my goal is to get us back to where we were, because when we had those days when I was helping her in the conversation, the dynamic and the chemistry was on fire. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
great.
Girl, you not that bad. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree. She's a really good addition to our family.
Yeah.
Now, Sabretooth is good because, like I said, she's my age and she can be she can moderate a lot of our debates, but she's not a part of our family unit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Only, and I think this is ultimately her destiny after we get our issues worked out. She is probably the best person. She's probably the best next family for us to acquire because she has a lot of issues. She has a lot of issues. She has a different perspective, but we can't get rid of her either. Remember, we've been trying. Listen, I've tried harder to get rid of her than I have you. You know what I mean? And you're my favorite out of all the consorts, or all the potential consorts, because you're the only official consort right now. You are my favorite person in the world, okay? Aside from my wives, of all the females on the planet, except for my mom, but my mom barely likes me. Oh, she likes me, but I get on her nerves. Yeah, you're my favorite female on the planet. That's why you're my chief consort. That's why you live with me, and that's why we're building a kingdom family unit together. But no, I agree. I think she's going to add great value to our pod, and she's going to add great value to us as a family. And when she's in her right mind and she's not turned up, she has a lot to contribute. She's articulate. She's a pretty little chocolate thing. So, no, I think she's going to be great. Now, speaking of great, I want to talk about the commentary we've had from some audience members about you using profanity on the podcast. Because I've had an opportunity to think about that, and you're going to be surprised at what my view is, okay? But I want you to defend your position. Tell me why profanity is okay to you, because you're a godly woman. That's the image that you project. But at the same time, sometimes you use some choice words.
Hoo-wee.
But my question is, do you feel comfortable using those choice words in a public setting? And if you're going to continue to use them when you're podcasting and communicating to the public, why? What's your reason behind it? Now, I've had some thought about it, and you're going to be surprised at my view now. But I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, my view, I want to stop cussing. This is a learned behavior that I feel like I've learned over the years. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to be that type of person that hear somebody just use a few cuss words, I used to be like, ow, ow, ow. And so I don't think so, because as I read my word, you know what I'm saying, read my daily bread, there's a scripture in the Bible about the water and can dirty and clean water come out the same spout. You know what I'm saying? Or can God put new wine in old wineskins? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So what I was saying to the audience, God has a before and after. So you guys are seeing me in training. This is training ground for me, because at the end of the day, I'm seeking God. I'm learning more of his word. You know what I'm saying? And the word is a two-edged sword. So God is really cutting up some things in me. He's purging some things, and he's sanctifying me. And one of the biggest thing it has been cursing, because the devil can't take my gift, but if he can have somebody look at my character, then that's all he wants. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all he wants. So I have enough understanding of that, but what I wanted the audience to know, like, this too shall pass. I may slip up and say one now and again, but I don't want nobody to think me sitting up here think that I'm, oh yeah, boop, 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 boop. So I'm even learning how to, sometimes you may hear me cuss them. I get, sit the F down, be like, don't make me F you up. I turn around, just, you know what I'm saying? Because I really am. God has me listening to me and when I talk and how, I go about things. But I was just saying, like, sometimes it's going to be a cuss word. It is, you know what I'm saying? And I am trying to, and it's not that I'm not intelligent. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of big words. You know what I'm saying?
You're very articulate.
Right. So, but it's just the quickest thing to say is those words. You know what I'm saying? That's really about it. But at the end of the day, like, dig, let me be great for a little while. You know what I'm saying? If I say something, cover your ears. You know what I'm saying?
Give you some grace.
Mute your TV.
Well, you know what? This is my position on that. I hate using profanity in my own life. And I really don't like it used around me. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. This is my issue with profanity. Okay, profanity is the result of an inability to communicate or express yourself. Okay, and it's a lazy form of communication. It is also, in many cases, especially when you're angry. Now, some people just use profanity as regular language. And the problem I have with that is, if you practice that when you're upset, that's the language you're going to default to.
Right.
Because when you're not upset, you practice using this language as part of your regular communication. So then when you're frustrated and you really go there, that's what you resort to. Okay, what you practice is who you become. So I don't encourage that kind of language because there are so many other ways to communicate, and there's so many words in the English language that you can use to get your point across. The other thing, though, is the effect that it has on you emotionally. And in my experience, when I get to the point where I'm using profanity, I'm not in control. I'm no longer in control of my emotions, and I'm communicating on a negative frequency.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm in control of my emotions, even if I don't agree with you, if I'm using the King's English and I'm communicating effectively, instead of you hearing my anger and frustration, using more appropriate language means that the message that I'm trying to convey gets across, okay? The other thing about it, though, is, and this is just from a business standpoint, it alienates a large number of people. Now, this is what I think you have to decide. There are a group of people who will be attracted to a public person who uses profanity in their conversations because they will feel comfortable communicating and talking to that individual, and they'll be like, yeah, that person's like me, okay? But the question is, who do you want your audience to be? Do you want to alienate the people who don't like that language, who are extremely articulate, who in moments of frustration can exhibit self-control? Because that group of people, oftentimes, when they hear someone speaking, especially a woman who professes to be kingdom-minded and a lover of God and trying to be Christ-like, even though you're in transition, the reason I think you should keep working on it is because you have to decide, am I becoming a communicator for the person that I was or I am, or am I trying to communicate to demonstrate or illustrate the person I want to be, okay? And if you want to capture the future version of Sonny, if you want to capture those people and those relationships, then you're probably going to be better served communicating in a way that will not repel those individuals. Now, having said that,
You gonna let me cuss? Oh, no.
yeah, having said that, if your decision is that you are not interested in capturing those individuals, because in real life, you're going to keep using that language and behaving that way, you should keep using that language. Now, I'm going to tell you why. When people hear me talk, they may disagree with my theological perspective on certain things. They may think I'm a weirdo or a nut. They may think I'm manipulative. They may think all these things about me. But what they're not going to say is he's not an eloquent communicator. That's what I want people, when they hear me talk, I want them to think, you know what? I don't agree with him. I don't like him. He's cocky. He's arrogant. He manipulates scripture. He tries to control these women. He's trying to do all these things, but he's eloquent. He's an eloquent communicator. I like that. That's sexy to me. You know what I mean?
That's
crazy. One of the reasons I listen. I love hearing podcasters. I remember when Obama made his speech at the convention. This was before anybody knew he was going to be the president. Now, when he made, he was introducing John Kerry. John Kerry was running for president. You're probably too young to remember this, but this is the first time he made a big national speech, and they asked him to introduce John Kerry. And he gets up here, and he starts speaking, and that silver-tongued devil was magnificent. When he was done speaking, and Kerry took the stage, Kerry is like, I don't even know what else I can say behind that. But he was such a powerful and such an eloquent speaker that after that single speech, everybody in the country knew he is going to be the next Democratic nominee. Now, this is why this is so powerful. He wasn't even on the list to be the Democratic nominee. He wasn't even picked for that. Hillary Clinton was in line. This is how politics works. Hillary Clinton, in politics, they have an order, pecking order. And they go behind closed doors and they say, okay, Kerry, this year is your year, but then the year after that, it's going to be Hillary Rodham Clinton's turn. After Obama was done speaking, the Democratic Party said, listen, I know it's Hillary's turn, but did you see him speak? Mm-hmm. But give him a microphone again. And then every time he picked up a microphone, you saw yourself hypnotized, listen to him talk. The ability to communicate, and one of my favorite mentors, Myron Golden, talks about this. The ability to communicate and effectively be able to share your ideas, even if someone doesn't agree with you, is powerful, and it's something that can take you farther than you ever imagined, and it can be monetized. So what I want you to remember, and I was talking to someone about this today, what I want you to start thinking about is every time you open your mouth, it's practice. And this is what I mean by that. You think Denzel Washington's a great actor?
Yeah.
What about that handsome boy with the muscles, Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Who's another actor you like or actress?
I always forget his name, but he played in like a lot of movies. But he got a messed up eye. He like brown, like my skin complexion. He got a messed. He black. And he played. Well, let me get a movie he played in. Oh my goodness, what is his name? I always forget his name, but I love him so much. He was in. What is his name?
Okay, guys, listen. While she's thinking, I want you to see something.
I'm gonna have to look
for those of you who says, you know what? He's so fond of her. He's always complimenting her. They live together. He gonna try to get with her. This is just one of the many reasons we could never be together.
Because
she don't even watch TV.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, she don't watch enough TV. I'm a TV guy. First of all, for somebody to be with me, you have to watch TV.
Nobody want to watch no Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, right. She don't watch TV. She doesn't watch TV, and she can't even remember the actor.
My favorite actor name here. Oh man.
Yeah, she can't even remember the actor.
It's okay. He's gonna come back.
She's talking about.
It's all right.
But whoever that actor is, do you know why he's such a great actor? It's not the scenes that you've seen him in. It's the scenes that
nobody's seen him in.
That nobody's seen him in. He's practiced communicating.
That's deep.
Yeah. He's practiced his craft in private over and over and over and over again. And he's done it so much that when the lights and the camera comes on, all of a sudden now.
Oh, that's besides the man I can't think of. My favorite actor is Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Yeah, Chris Tucker. Rush Hour 3.
Oh, my God. That's her favorite actor. See, this is another reason we couldn't be together. But in any case, okay. Rush Hour.
He stopped cussing and he saved and gave his life to the Lord.
Yeah, okay, but he's not the greatest actor. But
he's a great actor, actually.
Oh, my God.
He's a
decent actor.
No,
Chris
y'all,
Tucker's
please,
he's a comedian.
Somebody call him after this is over with, cuss him out about Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker
Come on now.
He's a decent actor. See what I'm talking about? This is the prop.
Come on, man.
I asked her to name her favorite actor. She could grab Chris Tucker from Rush Hour. We haven't seen Chris Tucker in a movie in I don't know how long, but that's neither here nor there. The point is,
Rush Hour 3 was the last one.
Listen. The point is that anybody that you look at and you see and you think they're great at acting or communicating is because they've done it 1,000 times. They do it over and over and over again in private, and then when they get in public, it comes out like gold. Now, granted, there are some people who are natural communicators and they're just good at doing it. I'm looking at one of them. You have a gift. You are a silver tongue demoness. You can talk. when you came in and talked to me that first time, I was like, wow. And then not only can you talk, you can quickly come up with slogans and things that rhyme. You have that Jesse Jackson thing going on. In the spur of the moment, you start talking, and I'm listening to you, and it's like boom, 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 boom. You can put stuff together. You're a fast thinker. So you have that ability, and you don't even practice. Now, imagine if you were intentional about improving your communication skills. And then not only did you work on improving your communication skills, you read more, and then the subjects that you really are passionate about, that you talk about, you're well read, and then your communication skills continue to get better. Mm-hmm. There's no limit to how far you can go. Because what's going to happen is even people who don't necessarily agree with your perspective, they're going to begin to enjoy just hearing you explain yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why it's important to practice effective speaking in private. Practice with your children. Have your children practice it. Practice it at home. And that's why debating is so. That's why they teach debate in school, because it gives you an opportunity to learn how to communicate with somebody that you vehemently disagree with in an effective way, and how to structure your arguments and all those things. So that's what I want for you. I see so much potential in you as a communicator, and just looking at you sit here now when you talk, you have no formal training, but you're poised. You think before you speak. You have a really good pace. You have all the things that you need to be a master communicator, and then you're attractive. So when you add all those things together, communication is a serious thing, and it's a career. Once you get good at communicating, people pay you to be a communicator. That's why they pay people to do commercials. They put people up there who've never used a product and say, you know what? I want you to talk about my product in an effective way. You have that ability. So the reason you might want to stop relying on profanity is because I don't want you to alienate all the people in the world who don't know what a good communicator you are. And then in those moments where you're frustrated, that's really where you amp up your communication skills. Because it's one thing to be a great communicator when everything is going well, but it's another thing to be a great communicator when you want to strangle someone, you're extremely frustrated, yet you have to control your emotions to get the idea out. You know what I mean? That's what I want my girl to work on.
The good thing about strangling somebody, you really don't have to talk.
Right. You know. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's good. Who thinks of that kind of stuff? You never run out of stuff to say. So we're gonna get Lexus in here. And you're going to decide. Now, guys, what you're going to see over the next several episodes, you're going to see her make a decision about what kind of communicator she wants to be. If she starts cursing and using 4 and 5 and 6 and 8 letter words, I'm not going to say a word. I'm going to let her run.
Let me say this, y'all. Let me toot my own horn. God is really working on me. I just joined Pastor Smokey's evangelism team. So, I'm moving in a direction where it's less of me and more of God. That's right. That's what I'm saying. I'm probably not even going to be cussing in the next three or 4 months, because now God has given me even
3 or 4
more
years. I'm sorry.
3 or 4 months, and God has given me so much influence, and also on the things that I do outside of that. He probably would have never heard me cussing him out. He told me, not to do my thing before the podcast, and I'm gonna be honest on him because he didn't already told my business. Anyway, I have an issue with smoking. I'm not even gonna say an issue with smoking, because I can honestly say I don't buy the weed and roll it up and get high and gotta put it out. I'm not one of those type of people that I gotta go around smelling like weed or my lips is black because I'm smoking that much. It's not one of those. It's literally I can smoke one time out that day and I'm good. Just to say I had it. Then I got a vape. But God is really purifying me and washing me, and it's all about going in that direction. But what I'm learning is the voice of God, which is conviction versus condemnation, because condemnation will have you already got the desire not to do what you want to do, and then you slip up and do it, and then there go the condemnation, like, girls, look at you, you full of mess, you just said this and now you this. But God is saying, I'm getting you in order, I'm getting you prepared, I'm getting you set up for greater things. So it's gonna be less of you, and God has shown me that I don't have to worry about the things that's been on my heart, because God is really moving some things out the way. And this podcast about communicating, that's crazy, because as I begin to speak to people and pour, because I do that excellently, as you hear Napoleon say, I do that very well. But to do it with the power and the fire of God is totally different. So that is truly my desire, is to be more like him, and to, deny myself and pick up my cross every day. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm excited about being on the team, and I'm excited about just stop doing certain things that, that's going to have me cuss, you know what I'm saying? Being around certain people, places, and things, because I do get, trigger hands. You feel what I'm saying? I be quick to, want to hurt somebody. Not saying that's what I want to do, but I really feel like before I give my life to the Lord, like fully, I'm gonna slap somebody real good.
No,
I think let the redeemed say so.
No. We're not gonna slap anybody. Oh,
right,
God,
but
this woman.
I'm redeemed, and then I can say so, and so means sold out for Christ. So once I do it, and they try to get their look back, I'm like, nope, I'm sold out. Should have got me on yesterday, girl. Too late for you. God got me that.
No. She's not slapping anybody. But see, this is why I love you. That was so well said. It's so well spoken. Now, I'm going to keep this episode to an hour, because we're going to do multiple episodes. This weekend.
I'm going to go get my girlfriend back. Yeah,
but we're going to get into this this smoking thing, and this is not to judge you, but I have a thought about your entire generation.
We're all drug addicts.
Yeah, and why it's so bad, and why you guys need to really be mindful. It's just terrible. So we're going to have a conversation about that. We might do it if we have enough time in this next episode when we get Lex in here. But I want to get into that. But first and foremost, we're going to get her in here, and we're going to hash out some issues.
Drama.
Yeah, but this was a very good episode. And see, everything happened for a reason. Now, aren't you glad it was just you and I today? Tell the truth.
Talk about tell the truth.
It felt good, didn't it?
I guess.
Yeah, it felt good. Sometimes you and I need to have our time together, where we can just have Sonny and Napoleon time, and then we bring in the other team members. But I mean, you're my chief consort. You're my girl. So I need to give you special attention when we're talking about our issues and things that, I can help you with uninterrupted.
Yeah, because suppressing all this greatness,
Yeah, right. And if somebody else was here, they'd be interrupting us and stuff. So,
right, exactly.
So that's it for this episode, guys. We that next episode with Lex is coming soon. So
coming soon.
Be on the lookout for it. And like I said, I'm gonna find her and get her in here today. But
I'm finna go make up with Lex. Bye.
That's right. But until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye. Peace.